Hi there, everybody. I'm Dr. Jill Wener. I'm a physician, meditation instructor, tapping practitioner, author and podcaster, and anti-racism trainer, educator. And I am so excited today to teach you a tapping technique called chasing the pain, a version of it. This can be used when you're feeling a lot of emotions, like they're very intense, and talking about it is getting you more upset. Tapping through it, talking about, I'm sad, all this sadness or all this anxiety, it's too much for you and it starts to become a little too intense. It becomes almost like triggering or re-traumatizing you. This kind of helps pump the brakes a little bit when the emotions are too intense, or if the memory itself is too intense to, like, if you're tapping on something that happened in the past, if it's a little too, or something that just happened, too upsetting. This can also be used for pain. So if you have actual physical in your body, you can use this technique to help decrease some of your perception of that pain. Tapping for pain is a whole other topic, but right now we're doing this technique called chasing the pain. So basically what you want to do is you want to get a piece of paper and a pen and check in with whatever emotion you're feeling. So if I'm feeling really strong anxiety or sadness, I'm going to write down anxiety, and let's say it's a 9 out of 10. You don't have, you can do this, by the way, when your emotions aren't super intense. It just can be helpful when they are super intense, but you could use this if your emotions are a 4 out of 10 or something. So, okay, so my anxiety is a 9 out of 10. And then you want to check in with yourself. Where do I feel that anxiety? Where do I feel that emotion inside my body? And get as descriptive as possible with it. So let's say it's a feeling in your chest, right? And you're anxious about a situation that happened, let's say with like your spouse or an ex or your kid or a boss at work or something. And it's just so upsetting. And of course, it also doesn't have to be super upsetting, but it just feels emotionally really raw for you. So where do you experience that? And you don't have to have a specific emotion. Just have your general thought process about whatever it is that happened. And check in with where you feel it in your body. Scan your body from head to toe. Where do you feel it the strongest? But there may be a few places that you feel it. So it might be a feeling in your chest. And instead of just saying, I feel it in my chest, I invite you to get super, super descriptive about it. Where in my, is it a tightness? Is it a gripping? Is it a fluttering? Is there a visceral gah behind it, or a ooh, or a something? Sometimes people will describe, I have this feeling in my face like I want to cry. So you can say that. But get as descriptive and visceral as possible. Like this feeling that I want to, bleh. I know that sounds a little funny, but the more you can get in tune with the specifics of this sensation in your body, the better this will work. And so think about that and think about how you want to describe that. Maybe it has a color, maybe it has a temperature, maybe it's got a specific location within your chest, maybe it's affecting your breathing. Maybe you feel something in your shoulders too, like a heaviness or something. Sometimes people will say it's this feeling like I just want to fight back, So whatever that feeling is, check in with that. And we're going to tap on that rather than on the emotion that led to that, or the experience that led to that. So now write down, how strongly do you feel that emotion in your body? Those physical sensations, how strong are those? It may be the same 9 out of 10, or it might be lower, or it might be higher. So now only on those physical sensations. So I'm going to invite you to leave that whole emotional life drama situation, leave that aside. We'll come back to it. Do your best to not think about it at all, and we're only going to focus on what's happening inside the body. It's a different technique. It's really powerful. Okay, so let's tap. Also, that anything I'm doing here is an exercise. Hopefully it will help you. If it does not help you, if it feels triggering, please stop doing it. Keep yourself grounded in your senses, what you're seeing, smelling, tasting, hearing, and touching. And please, by all means, call a mental health professional if you feel like your emotions or whatever you're going through is strong, or if you're having any thoughts of hurting yourself. This is not meant to replace that. All right, so we're going to tap. Even though I have this squeezing pressure in my chest, and I'll pause for you to repeat and just fill in the blanks with whatever it is that you're feeling. So you may not be having the specific feeling that I'm going to be describing. You probably won't have the exact thing. Just fill in whatever you're having and be as descriptive as possible. So even though I have this squeezing pressure in my chest, this fiery feeling, this warmth spreading from my chest up to my neck, I love and accept myself. Even though I have this fiery warmth feeling in my chest, this pressure spreading up to my neck, I love and accept myself. Even though I have this fiery warm feeling in my chest spreading up to my neck, this tense pressure in my chest, I love and accept myself. This pressure in my chest, let's say it's an 8. This 8 out of 10 pressure in my chest. This fiery warmth, like my heart's tearing apart. This feeling in my chest. This pressure. This fiery warmth in my chest. This constriction in my breath. This tense pressure in my chest, affecting my breathing. This feeling like I want to scream. This tense pressure. This pressure in my chest. This fiery warmth spreading up to my neck. This feeling like I want to scream. All right, so let's pause and take a deep breath. And now's a really good time to check in with how you're feeling. Remember, we're putting our attention on the physical sensation in our bodies, not the emotional event or interaction that led to these physical sensations. We want to go to what's happening in the body and check in. Is it the same? Is it less? Is it more? Did anything new come up? Did the pain move? Did the sensation move? Maybe it's not in the chest anymore, but it's all in the neck. Maybe it's gone from the chest down to the belly. So if it's changed at all, you want to describe it again with its intensity wherever it's moved to. That's why we call it chasing the pain. So we'll continue. Let's say that it's down to a 6, but that it's all pretty much the same, just less intense. This remaining 6 out of 10 intensity in my chest. This fiery warmth in my chest moving up to my neck. This feeling like I want to scream. It's less intense, but it's still there. This pressure in my chest. This fiery warmth. Like I want to scream. This pressure in my chest. This intense pressure and tightness in my chest. This feeling like I want to scream. This feeling. Really get into that as much as you can. This remaining 6 out of 10 feeling in my chest. This tight pressure. This fiery warmth moving up to my neck. This feeling like I want to scream. This 6 out of 10 intensity in my chest. All right, so now we're going to pause, deep breath. Check in with how you're feeling. Remember, we're focusing just on the intensity of what we're feeling in the body. We'll say that it's down to a 3 out of 10, and then it's starting to feel lighter, and that fiery intensity up to the neck isn't there anymore. And now it's just this intense pressure in the chest. So check in with the intensity of it. Has it moved anywhere? Has it gone to any other part of your body? any aha moments coming up, oh, okay, well, I feel it, but I don't feel, it's not like consuming me. So note anything like that, and we'll continue to tap one more time. This remaining 3 out of 10 intensity in my chest. The fiery feeling up to my neck is gone. And this tightness and pressure in my chest has gotten lighter, less consuming. This pressure and intensity in my chest. No longer with this overwhelming need to scream. This remaining 3 out of 10 sensation in my chest. Breathing's back to normal. This remaining 3 out of 10 sensation in my chest. Breathing more deeply now. The fiery hot feeling is gone. This remaining tightness and pressure in my chest. Feeling the emotional intensity leaving my body. This remaining pressure in my chest. The fiery intensity is gone. This remaining 3 out of 10 pressure in my chest. So now we're going to pause. Take another deep breath. Now, if your intensity, if all that's pretty much gone or down to a 1 or 2, or maybe preferably a 0 or a 1, you're done. You can keep tapping until it's down to a 0. If it's still a 2, 3, 4 or higher, keep tapping. Keep tapping on the specific as possible. Any visceral emotions coming up behind that, and just keep tapping through and tapping through. Remembering to try to keep your brain off of the event and just have it be what's happening inside your body. And now that you're down to a 0 or a 1, if you are down to a 0 or a 1 and don't need to keep tapping, now I'd invite you to check in with that initial emotional event that had started off maybe as a 9 or a 10. Check in with it now. Where is it? Maybe it's down to a 4. Maybe it's down to a 2. Maybe it's gone. If you check in with that and then you start to get some more sensations in the body, now you can go back to the body again and tap on whatever's coming up for you in the body. So this is a way to, when we're tapping, we want to do what's called a window of tolerance, which is we want to be tapping where we're just emotional enough that the tapping works, but we're not so emotional that we're overwhelmed by the whole process, because that's going to end up maybe triggering us more or upsetting us even more, re-traumatizing us. And it can be too intense for the tapping to work. So you can do this bit by bit. If going into the event that happened is too intense, you can focus on what's happening in the body, and it's processing it in just as healthy as a way as if you were actually tapping on the emotion or the event itself. This is not spiritual bypassing. This isn't pretending that we're not having the emotions or that the event didn't happen. It's more just allowing us to process the way it is in our body, because actually our emotions and our traumas get stored in the body. So this is actually a really lovely way to get in touch with that. If you have a hard time feeling your emotions in your body, that's okay too. And that's a different process to work on. But don't worry if you weren't able to feel anything strongly in the body. But just give yourself a chance. Next few times you have a strong emotion about something, pause and just check in to see if there's anything in your body that you're feeling. And is that possibly related to the emotion? So I hope you found that helpful. I'd love to hear from you to see how that worked for you or how you used it. And if you're interested in working with me, you can check out my website, jillwener.com/tapping, to work with me one-on-one. I have some online courses, and I have an exciting program coming down the pipeline soon on how you can get access to more tapping recordings like this. I hope you have a wonderful day.